And tonight, running out of patience, Ghana Union of Traders Association justifies exercise to close down shops of foreign retailers in latest escalation of the feud.
The people's patience cannot be controlled again. And so we'll plead with the Committee on Foreign Retail Trade to go back to its roadmap and start working.
Also coming up, threat to gold production. We'll hear why the 3% withholding tax is being blamed for the high incidence of gold smuggling.
Let me reiterate the point here that if care is not taken on the withholding tax component that we've instituted, we'll move from the leading position probably to the third.
And also coming up, addressing fertilizer shortage, Ghana to soon have a manufacturing plant to meet demands of farmers.
As I speak now, since 2018, we have a team that has been working very tirelessly, developing all kinds of feasibility studies and other studies, selecting the site location to develop a fertilizer manufacturing plant using our local natural gas.
And thanks for joining us, everyone. We'll have details of all those stories and others coming up tonight on Business Live.
Hello, my name is Nathaniel Atto. You can catch up with all the fun and inspiration on the Joy Sports link here on Joy 99.7 FM, together with all other shows over and over again. It's very simple. All you need to do is go to myjoyonline.com/podcast and relive all of those fun moments over and over again. Joy 99.7 FM, your radio for discerning listeners.
Joy 99.7.
And that was your look at the commodity market. We'll be talking gold and cocoa later on in the bulletin. First, though, the Ghana Union of Traders Association GUTA says it has run out of patience, hence the decision to close down shops of foreign retailers. Recently, the Ministry of Trade and Industry put together a committee on foreign retail trade to address issues bordering on foreigners trading in the country's retail space, as well as allocation of concessions to both local and foreign traders. Now, speaking earlier on the marketplace, President of the Union, Dr. Joseph Obeng, said the committee must, as a matter of urgency, reconvene since the concessions allocated to foreigners were rejected.
I think the earlier the Foreign Trade Committee start working, the better, because as you can see what happened at Koforidua and Ashama, Tema, and everywhere, the people's patience cannot be controlled again. And so we'll plead with the Committee on Foreign Retail Trade to go back to its roadmap and start working. As they have promised to meet us on Wednesday, we are prepared and eager to meet with them. But this time around, we want them to start working in earnest, because there's a law. The law should work. It's as simple as that. We try to give concession, and then the people that we are giving this concession have rejected it. And then the people cannot wait because our markets are being taken over. It's as simple as that. We don't think, I don't think our people will have the patience again to wait forever for this law to be enforced. Nobody is going to allow that.
We'll keep following that story for you. Next, the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources fears Ghana might lose its enviable first position as the leading gold producer in Africa because of a 3% withholding tax. Now, Deputy Sector Minister George Merikuduka says this could be blamed for the high incidence of gold smuggling by some producers to neighboring countries. There is an ongoing engagement with the Finance Ministry to review the tax. Mr. Duka spoke at a workshop on the digitalization of licensing of small-scale mining held in Kumasi. Prince Apia has more in this report.
The 3% withholding tax is one of the highest in the sub-region, which according to industry players is compelling most producers to smuggle their gold to nearby countries. Deputy Minister for Lands and Natural Resources in charge of mining, George Mrekuduka, observes this threatens Ghana's gold production status and its revenue. He expects the Ministry of Finance to reconsider the withholding tax to secure Ghana's gold production status.
Ghana is the leading producer of gold in Africa since 2018 and 6th in the world, with an average production of 4.2 million ounces over the lead period. And let me reiterate the point here that if care is not taken on the withholding tax component that we've instituted, we'll move from the leading position probably to the third. Because you realize that if you do the comparison from the export points, you're realizing that we are dwindling.
As the leading gold producer in Africa, Ghana produces 4.2 million ounces annually, placing the country at the 6th position in the world. Mr. Duka revealed the government of Ghana is partnering the Indian government to construct a gold refinery to add value to gold mined in the country.
We have partnered an Indian government to put up a refinery in Ghana. And that refinery is about 85% complete. By November, we should start operating. If we start refining gold in the country, then obviously to put more, value on the gold that we sell.
The Deputy Minister was speaking at a workshop on digitization of licensing of small-scale mining in Kumasi. It brought together both regional and district officers of the Minerals Commission. CEO of the Commission, Martin Kwekweisi, says the digitization is meant to address delays in acquiring mining licenses.
Now that you don't have to go to the bank and go and do a banker draft, it means that it should be possible for a small-scale miner to even submit an application over the weekend, because he can just pay by Momo and the system will pick it. So with this maximum, maybe a week or less, we should be able to process an application for it to go to the ministry.
The initiative forms part of mandate of the Minerals Commission to complement the work of the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources. Prince Apia reporting.
From gold, let's talk about another important commodity for us, cocoa. Now, more than $700 million of cocoa loan syndication is expected to hit the Bank of Ghana account by the middle of next month. Cocoa Board yesterday closed a loan agreement with 24 banks to aid in the purchase of cocoa beans for the next crop season. The funds will represent the first tranche of the cocoa syndicated facility. We're taking you to the Western North region, where cocoa farmers are claiming unfair implementation of the cocoa rehabilitation program spearheaded by the Ghana Cocoa Board. Though several cocoa trees have been cut down for the program, replanting is yet to start after several months. Ahead of the new cocoa season, the Ghana Agricultural and Rural Development Journalists Association visited the Sehi Bekwai Cocoa District to deliberate on the issue and more. Here's Emmanuel Osei with this report.
The Cocoa Board introduced the cocoa rehabilitation program after the government identified that the majority of cocoa-producing trees in the country are over 30 years old. Overaged trees were felled to pave way for the new improved ones, as well as to be able to resist the swollen shoot disease. However, its effective implementation has become a major concern to affected farmers, as some of their crops have begun stunting. These are revealed during an open forum in Penacrom, Trenchenso, Daboase, and Esha communities in the Western North region.
Say abana tun conversion ka mbehwe fo na ka onu kra ne sebefem if you say efo na omoye no omonye fo no omo de reports ko say omoye fo no na kuafo no mofo na ka wiram da bia se de anwokyere ne ohia e na ebra kuafo no te sra ban se nka no de ma agree from de wa ma contract no on for ma kuafo no mo first kan yo mofu.
The farmers dread cocoa production could be affected negatively if the situation persists without imminent solutions. Isifo Isaka is the chairman of Seshibekwai Cocoa Cooperative Union.
Used to get beans from the cocoa, but because of cocoa board saying the cocoa have been affected, let us cut it by 2 years, 3 years time. We will help you build the cocoa, and the farmers understood. And now, about 3 years farm is now bushy. You will not see single cocoa tree in the farm, and it's unfortunate. So we are pleading with cocoa board that they should have a look at it again. The policy is good, but it looks as if they've left everything behind, and then monitoring is very slow.
20 years to come, Ghana will suffer. So for the farmers calling for the abrogation of this project is true, but not entirely. It should give the project to the farmers to do it on their own. Any sponsorship for this project to continue to be fruitful, they should channel to the farmers directly so that the government will get a result from this cocoa rehabilitation.
The Ghana Agriculture and Rural Development Journalists Association visited the Seshibekwai Cocoa District with the objective to highlight the plight of farmers as well as engage the relevant authorities to address the situation. Nania Ruben is project coordinator.
As part of GAJE's yearly activity to inspect and speak to farmers about the coming new cocoa season year, what we're here to do is to acquaint ourselves with happenings on the farm, what farmers were doing, what cocoa board or policymakers have told farmers, and as to whether the policies are being implemented. The policies we had heard that the cocoa board was putting in place, some had not materialized to the expectations of even as members of GAJA, and how much more farmers who were directly going to benefit.
Meanwhile, farmers in the Seshibekwai area are appealing to the government to expand the cocoa scholarship schemes as well as fix their deplorable roads. Reporting for JoyNews, Emmanuel Osei.
Now, Ghana will soon have a fertilizer manufacturing plant for local production to meet demands of farmers. This was revealed by the head of results delivery at the office of the president, Nana Sewa Mwako. According to her, discussions are ongoing to establish the plan to support the National Fertilizer Subsidy Program, as well as reduce shortage on the market. She spoke at the launch of the Visualizing Insights on Fertilizer for African Agriculture Ghanaian Dashboard.
Results delivery at the office of the president, Nana Sewa Mwako, says the looming fertilizer shortage is a global issue which government seeks to address with both short-term and long-term plans. For the short-term plan, she indicated that government intends to partner international brands for continuous supply, whilst for the long term, she disclosed that a fertilizer manufacturing plant will soon be established.
The looming shortage of the fertilizer is a global issue. It is actually exacerbated by the current COVID crisis. There are both short-term and long-term plans that the government is putting in place for these. Short-term plans would be how we can still collaborate with international stakeholders to still make fertilizers available. That one, I know the Honorable Minister of Agri and his team are working very, very effectively on that. For the long-term plans, I would say that is where the Ghana Fertilizer Expansion Program comes in. As I speak now, since 2018, we have a team that has been working very tirelessly, developing all kinds of feasibility studies and other studies, selecting the site location to develop a fertilizer manufacturing plant using our local natural gas. And of course, this plant will be part of the newly created petroleum hub that has been created.
Meanwhile, Director of Crop Services at the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, Seth Osei Akuto, says the ministry is setting up a team to educate farmers on the use of organic fertilizers. According to him, this will be a great alternative to sustained production of fertilizers.
Alternatively, we also have organic fertilizers. The organic fertilizers, we have different forms. We have the liquid forms, you have the compost forms, and then you have the granular forms. And some of these organic fertilizers are manufactured locally. So you also fall on that. But you also recognize that there's a challenge with the use of organic fertilizers. That is where, as a ministry, we need to come out with a program. Alternatively, in case the inorganic fertilizers become so challenging that the suppliers cannot afford to supply the quantities needed, you fall on the organic fertilizers which are produced locally. And we need to be able to set up a team to educate the farmers the use of these organic fertilizers and the way they are also going to help us to increase productivity levels.
The Visualizing Insights on Fertilizer for African Agriculture dashboard is a website designed to address the use of fertilizer data in Ghana, Nigeria, and Kenya.
And you're watching Business Live. Still to come, Ecobank Ghana and People's Pension Trust partner to encourage informal sector pension contributions.
About 70% of employment is in the informal sector, and it is important that we ensure that those in that sector can retire with dignity and in comfort.
What's up, guys? My name is Sammy Forson, host of the Weekend City Show and Ignition right here on Joy 99.7 FM. Well, anytime you happen to be busy and you miss out on your favorite shows right here on Joy FM, here's what you can do. Log on to myjoyonline.com/podcast. Just go on there and you'll find all your shows on demand 24/7. There you can catch up. Remember, Joy FM remains your radio for discerning listeners.
Joy 99.7.
Hello there. Welcome to another edition of the Money Lab. Today we'll look at the stock market and the fixed income market. Now, these two markets provide the opportunity for investors to make investments based on their preference, whether they want to be part owners of a company going into the market or would want to lend to existing companies or even to the government. That is the fixed income market. The stock market or the equity market or the shares market is the aggregation of buyers and sellers of stocks, which represent ownership or claims on businesses. These may include securities listed on a public stock exchange, such as the Ghana Stock Exchange, as well as those traded privately, such as shares of private companies, which are sold to investors through equity crowdfunding platforms. The fixed income market is more commonly referred to as the debt securities market or the bonds market. It consists of bond securities issued by the government, corporate institutions, municipalities, and the mortgage debt instruments. Debt security investments are generally seen as less risky than equity investments.
Hello, I'm Dori Nando. You can catch up with all the fun on the Cosmopolitan Mix and on all our shows via podcast. Just go to My Joy Online podcast and search for your favorite show and relive those moments all over again. Only on Joy 99.7 FM, radio for discerning listeners.
Super Hits Radio, Joy 99.7.
And welcome back from that break and our tour around the world for international business news. Now back home, Ecobank Ghana has joined hands with People's Pension Trust to target workers in the informal sector to encourage pension contributions. An agreement to finalize this deal was closed today at an event in Accra. Here's George Yafe with more.
The agreement which was signed today between Ecobank and the People's Pension Trust will allow the bank to use its outlet to collect contributions from workers in the informal sector that are clients of the firm. Speaking to Joy Business after the program, Managing Director of Ecobank, Dan Saki, said this couldn't have come at a better time.
And as we just heard, if about 70% of employment is in the informal sector, then it is important that we ensure that those in that sector can retire with dignity and in comfort. And what we are trying to do today is to make sure that, one, we bring about a product that people can subscribe to, whether in the formal or informal sector, knowing that the formal sector have their compulsory pension scheme. The informal sector that has not got anything, this is targeted at them. We want to make sure that wherever you are, whatever you do, you should be able to make a monthly contribution, weekly, daily, depending on the frequency of your revenues that you earn.
On his part, Chief Executive of People's Pension Trust, Sakib Nazre, noted that the agreement shows that there's still a lot that can be done in the informal sector.
Partnerships are very important, and it's very important for us to collaborate together. Everyone brings a lot of strength, and there's so much work to do that no one can do it all on their own. So we are happy to collaborate with partners who see the vision, who are active in addressing the informal economy, and who are strong in technology, so that together we can all make progress. So there's enough to do, there's enough activity and revenue. The important thing is to progress with reaching out to the informal sector, and we think it's better to do it together than everyone doing it on their own.
Director of Plan at the National Pensions Regulatory Authority, Anasamate Vondi, noted that as a regulator, they are committed to improving pensions in the informal sector.
From the regulator's viewpoint, we think that the issue of education and sensitization is critical. For that reason, we've gone around almost all the regions in the country trying to educate people in the informal sector about pensions, its relevance, its usefulness, and so on, so that people will take advantage of the kind of products that are available so they don't keep working till they drop dead. We've done that.
Some analysts have argued that if the sector is given the needed attention, it has the potential to turn around the economy.
Watching Business Live, if you're having trouble finding the job you want, starting your own business may be a viable alternative, especially as the country grapples with high unemployment rate. But what does it take to do so, especially during a pandemic? Let's get social tonight on Joy Business Social. Yours truly will be hosting Eko Mensah, founder and CEO of African Network of Entrepreneurs, TANO, and as AMA Country Manager, Impact Ghana, and CEO of Reggie's Juice Bar, Reginald Alote Papo. That's at 6 p.m. That's in about 30 minutes on our social media platforms on starting a business in pandemic times. Don't miss it. All right, so let's meet online in 30 minutes. Before we go, Participatory Development Associates Limited is establishing an oil processing mill at Kunsu in the Ashanti region to provide jobs and support for farmers. The community development organization expects the mill to provide employment to about 200 residents. More in this report.
The move by the Participatory Development Associates feeds into the government's Green Ghana initiative. Selected schools in the Hafwano Southwest districts benefited from the first phase of the tree planting project. About 200 trees were planted in 2 schools for the first phase of the project. Edemagbe is the managing director of Participatory Development Associates, PDA.
Okay, so our intention is actually to plant 1 hectare of trees, and together with the Forestry Commission we are having that conversation, but we are doing it in phases. So now we are planting trees in schools, and it's all to feed into the Green Ghana initiative by government.
According to Mr. Akbe, the establishment of the oil processing mill at Kunsu will provide ready markets for farmers and create jobs along the value chain.
But our biggest significant one as part of our work has led us to establish the oil processing mill in Kunsu now, which is not fully complete. But when it's fully complete, that mill alone can employ about 200 people directly working at the factory floor, supplying, providing support to farmers to improve upon their palm plantations with best agricultural management practices.
Books were donated to 4 schools in the district as part of PDA celebration.
And that's Business Live tonight. Thanks for watching, everyone. More news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. My name is Darryl Kwao. We'll see you same time tomorrow.